Pulp Secret is brought to you by Zunart's new graphic novel, The Lost Ones.
Hey guys, welcome to The Stack. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
And we got two awesome reviews for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the original graphic novel, Nathan the Caveman, and giving you a little bit of an advance on Popgun Volume 2 from Image. So that's very cool. And then we're going to have a panel discussion in the second half, so look forward to that. But let's kick it off talking about Nathan the Caveman. Pete, you picked this up.
Well, yeah, in my visit to Maine, Dave, who was working... was nice enough to be like, hey, you should check this out. This is some a local guy in Maine made this comic, and it's very well done. The art is fantastic, and I feel like for a guy who's just getting his chops, it was a very impressive book.
Yeah. At first I was like, oh, it's kind of a very simple comic, but it's just so innocently and purely done. And to read the whole thing, it was just great. And the art really grows on you as it goes on.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really visually very smartly done. The story's good, heart-wrenching.
It is very much, I feel like, a first original graphic novel. I mean, not to be like totally crass about it, but in terms of the story, it's very much like a story that people are like, oh yeah, this is a really cool story. Yeah. And it's the sort of story that people across the board write for their first thing, when it's their first play or their first book or something like that.
Emotionally charged,
no,
big
specifically
characters.
the playing with the time and having the the playing with the time thing. I mean, to be perfectly honest, like in the interest of full disclosure, I wrote almost exactly the same thing for my first one act play, and I've seen plenty of other people do the same thing. I'm just saying.
You wrote a one-act play?
Yeah, you guys were in it.
Oh, that was...
Glass Menagerie?
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Cool.
Man,
That being said, I would say that I agree with you guys. It's the earnestness that really comes through, and he's really trying things with the art. Yeah. It's not just wrote panel after panel after panel. He's really trying to push things forward for himself, and I'd really love for people to pick this up so that he has, the time and the resources to make a second graphic novel that has a little bit more of an original story to it.
But counterpoint, like where it's like, oh, it's a story that you've actually written, like the innocence of it and the like, it's just going forward and making that step.
You really get on
board. It really
board
comes through, and it really spoke to me like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
you really get on side with the character. You really get into his head, and really just it's a lot of fun. The only negative thing that I could say is you kind of see a little bit ahead of time where it's going, but it's so well done that you don't really care. You still finish the book.
Do you have to go to Maine to get it?
Oh, no, you can go to the website.
No. Anywhere you can fish off the coast.
Oh, yeah.
You can pick it up.
It's on docks all up and down.
But if you do go to Maine, they give you a lobster and this comic.
Oh,
and they're like, these are the two things we do really well.
A lobster gives you this comic. So definitely pick it up, right? Nathan the Caveman?
Definitely.
Okay,
Definitely.
Great. Definitely pick it up. Next thing, Popgun Volume 2, which is a comic book mixtape. What'd you guys think about that?
I love this. I love getting these. I love short stories that are just really inventive. And man, I love Paul Pope's cover as well. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's really great because it's not like a comic where you're like, oh, I have one story that I really like. It's a bunch of stories going in, and some of them you might like more than others, but throughout the art just kept blowing me away.
Very
different worlds,
strong.
Different art, really great. And I liked how
Different
the lengths,
pages.
the lengths changed. Like some of them were just like 1 page or 2 pages, really great, a lot of fun. It's one of those things where it's a great comic because no matter how much time you have to sit down and read it, you can read like one story or like a couple. It's great.
If you have like 4 days, you'll probably finish it though.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's actually the
plan
thing that
for
I think
that.
is great about it. We've been very hard on short story collections, I think, because they
Totally.
are hit and
Oh,
miss.
Henry!
No,
Yeah,
comic book ones.
Oh.
We've
That's
been
what we
pretty
do.
hard.
I
because
hate
they're
O.
very hit
Henry.
and miss. I actually think this book, not only is it more hit than miss, far
Yes.
more hit than
Yes.
miss,
Yes.
but it's like 450 pages of comic book for the same price as a regular graphic novel. That is awesome.
Yeah, it really
That is
is.
totally, totally awesome, and I hope
More
people-
bang for your buck.
Yeah,
Popgun.
yeah. Popgun is an amazing amount of bang for your buck.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of money on banging. You know
Bucks.
what I'm saying?
He likes to bang bucks. So that's 2 positive recommendations, guys.
No,
That's pretty
God, we're
exciting.
so good.
Yeah.
Wait, guys, what am I gonna do with this glass menagerie?
Were you playing Amanda?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's my interpretation.
That was my play, you guys. You got to
I-
check it out. Glass Menagerie. We're doing it tomorrow somewhere. All right. After the break, we're gonna have a panel discussion. So stay tuned.
Zunarts presents a graphic novel from Steve Niles, author of 30 Days of Night. featuring the artwork of Dr. Revolt, Morning Breath, Kimmy Buzelli, Gary Panter. One epic story told by 5 groundbreaking artists. The Lost Ones. Read it now at zoonarts.net.
Hey guys, welcome back. We have a little bit of a panel discussion for you, and it's actually from a question one of you sent in. Jack from Camp Black Horse in Afghanistan wrote into tips@pulpsecret.com.
Hold it down, Jack.
What are some ways for aspiring writers to break into the comics gig, especially those of us with little to no artistic abilities? So what do you guys think?
Join the club.
What?
Start a comic book review web show. Oh, wait, don't. Actually, don't.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
We do that.
Army.
We do
Join
that.
the army.
Yeah.
There you go. Those are the two ways. Start a comic book review show or join the army.
I mean, obviously, there's many different like contests and online things that you can do, especially with like Zuda and stuff like that. Have a lot of fun stuff. But I feel like the best scenario is find someone who can draw and team up.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the way to start is think about what stories you want to tell. You know, what stories you want to tell and how do you want to tell them. And if you have no artistic ability, why do you want to tell this as a comic book? Is it something that is better than as a comic book? Or maybe it'll work as a short story. Maybe it'll work as a novel, and maybe it'll work even as something you put up as a blog. You know, honestly, like, seriously, an episodic blog. Why not? Or
Totally.
do it as write it down and do it as a video blog. Put it up somewhere, just telling stories to people if that's
Write it
what
on
you
a piece of paper, put it in a bottle, and throw it into the sea.
But if you do decide that you do have to do it as a comic book, I think Pete's absolutely right. You know, just post on forums, make friends on places, find an artist that you like. Chances are the really top artists, like you're not going to be like, dear John Romita Jr., can you do my comic book? And I'll be like, sure, I have plenty of time.
He does
Although
it all
I
the time.
did get a deal with Jim Lee, and he's going to do my comics.
Oh, you got a deal?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, Battling Pete, Rescue Ranger.
Yeah.
No.
The sequel to the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
That's my comic book. It's a fan comic book for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I got it by being
It's-
on a comic book review show.
It's actually Darkwing Duck, but you were close.
Okay.
I would say just write. The more you write, the more you will realize what you want to do with the things that you write, and then do anything you can to get them published, get them out there. Because if you want to get an actual job in the comic book industry writing, you need to show that you've published something anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people joke, if you want to write comics, get a job as a screenwriter. Write for 2 seasons of a TV show, and then you can go write a comic whenever you want.
Yeah, you really got to show you can write a great level on a consistent basis.
And another thing that, I think this exact example has been used by numerous comic creators when we've talked to them about the same question, but don't expect that you're going to be like, hello, Marvel, can I write Amazing Spider-Man? And it's going to happen.
Right.
Don't even try necessarily for Marvel or DC to start. Just release your own comic book online.
Yeah.
Start with that. Hopefully, there's an incredible burgeoning online community, I think, of people that are really supporting each other's careers is the awesome part.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, that's the easiest way to do it. I mean, we interview so many people on Comic Book Club who are like, I started as a webcomic, got some attention, and now it's this.
Right.
That's what you do.
But you gotta know that there's gonna be some work. It's not also gonna be like you write your first comic book and just be like, that's great. Now you're the comic
Now
book
you're making
superstar.
a movie. Now you're
Yeah.
The most important thing to remember is to take it to the max. I think
You're
we
a
can
tool.
all
You're a
agree
complete
that
tool.
that is the most important thing to do.
All right. Hope that answers your question. If anybody else has any tips for any aspiring writers or artists, for
please
that
post.
matter, call us at 888-841-7549 or write into tips@pulpsecret.com. You can upload your video response on YouTube or comment right here below. And if you're ever in New York City, come
You
visit
should
us
see our
every
show!
Tuesday night at 8 p.m. at Comic Book Club, our live show. All the details are on pulpsecret.com. And in case you hadn't guessed, this show was...
Well, let's just say we're at San Diego right now, but you're seeing this. How we did it? That's a pulp secret.
Oh, man. Anyway, come visit us in San Diego. Our big panel Comic Book Club is tomorrow, Saturday. Or if you see us around, please say hello, and we will give you Justin will give you a big kiss on the lips.
That's true. We pre-taped it. That's the secret. We
will
pre-taped
see
it.
you guys next time.